My name is Prasanna. I am currently the CEO of Shikshana Foundation, and I've been running this organization for the last 5.5 years now. And prior to this, I was a software engineer running my own small firm. And during that phase, more than 17 years that I lived in US, I've been funding various NGOs in India, and that gave me an exposure on what is it that they do better and what we can do, in terms of impact. And a little bit of thinking on that got me interested in doing something on the field, try it out rather than just funding. And then saw this as an opportunity. When I moved back, decided to do this full time. So then doing this and scaled up this organization from a handful of schools to close to 100 schools today. And the impact is on about 1.8 lakh children currently. And it's all very measurable. So we look at highly focused on what is the outcome that we are trying to get. And it's been very impactful. I mean, we had independent audits done on our performance, and more than anything else, the children and the teachers with whom we work want us to be there with them for the longer term. So that means they see the impact, and they would like this to be more widespread in the state and across the country. So this is the kind of setup before you are what I'm doing. Before it was private. So all this, I used to be constantly involved with something or the other, in terms of doing something to the country back here. And a lot of things happened. I mean, from 91 through 2003-4, I've been supporting various causes. And then we had a get-together of our friends. They were trying to, and I was the odd guy out in the group. So they were trying to tease me, telling me, okay, you have been doing this for so long. What have you achieved? Can you quickly tell us what have you done? I said, oh, many things. They said, no, don't give me stories, just tell me quickly, in a short 1-minute speech kind of thing. Because they were pulling my leg actually. And I realized I found it very, very difficult to tell them exactly what is it that I have accomplished. I could show them that I have donated so much, but in terms of impact, what is it that you have done? There's really nothing that I could really tell. On the way back from this, we had gone out in a different place, or on the way back to Austin, while we were just talking, see how difficult it is to kind of put this impact in a simple sentence. And what is it that I'm doing? So I started thinking about it. Then started analyzing what are the NGOs that we've been funding, how are the funds being used, and who are the people, how do they do things on the field. And then I found out that a lot of them, everybody that we have funded were extremely enthusiastic people. There was a lot of passion in the work. But unfortunately, they were not willing to measure, or they are not willing to put a value to the time, their own effort and time. It's because they were doing it out of passion, they just assume that it's all for free. So what happens is, normally, like I used to run a business. So you never run a business like that, right? But when I was doing funding, I was doing exactly opposite of what I would typically do in running a business, without thinking of the outcomes or impact and all. So I said, no, so there's something not right here. Let us change this, and try to look at something in a same sector in a different way. So the group of us started something called Pragati back in Texas. So that's an NGO again. So basically, the aim of that is to select NGOs only get funded. In the sense that I would not, for example, came out with 3 what I call my own points to when we shortlist an NGO. I said you should not fund an NGO run by the founder. Typically, founder and NGOs are kind of, in my opinion, inefficient, because it's a founder's baby, right? So they're very close to it. So if you give a suggestion to improve, they will not actually take it very well. And then don't fund an NGO run by volunteers, because typically it won't scale up. And it's that's one part. And the third one was that don't fund an NGO which does not have an exit strategy in place. That means you fund an NGO once, you get stuck to it for life. And then there are so many other things that you would like to do, but you cannot, because now all your money is going to this one NGO, whose needs also will be expanding as they are growing. So you will never be able to get out of that, once. So with these, I tried to find out, is there any NGO, so I found it very difficult. Almost, we came up with a 0 in Karnataka to fit these criteria. So that's what got us thinking. I started. Why is it that the sector is like this? Who is going to make that change? So after a lot of thought, I said, why not jump in and not try to make that change? At the same time, like it's not that one reason. I can't say that's the only reason I came back. I wanted to come and spend more time with my dad, and my wife being the only daughter wanted to spend more time with her parents when they were able, and well. And then their grandchild, so my daughter could spend more time with the grandparents. So it's not like that one thing, but if you look at it, it's a combination of all this with a will to do something different in the sector. That's what got me focused on.
Yeah.
Even the most naughty boy or girl in the class wants to actually learn. They're coming to school to learn. So it's just that how you sell that. If you sell learning as one of the most boring things to do, they will never come and so it's all about marketing. Marketing with a good intention, with the right spirit. Marketing not to make money, but marketing to help them get better. So I don't see anything negative in that, but it's something you have to do. I tell teachers, you sell properly. If you don't sell, you start up your that particular chapter saying that this is the most difficult thing you will ever if you pay full attention, this is the most difficult thing we are going to cover this entire year. You are going to turn half the class off because you already told them it's most difficult thing. But again, the same teacher could have said, no, this is a very, very fun exercise that we are going to do today. And if you do this, the rest of the year will be very, very easy. So let us come on, have some fun, and if you start teaching trigonometry, I think kids like trigonometry. So it's just about that, how you kind of
take it away. It was like the way you show it to the kids is very important. That is the thing. What you say. If you tell it it's very difficult. They'll think that assumption will be there in their mind.
Yeah. So basically, you have to see that idea in the child that the child can do it. It's easy. It's possible. It's fun. So you have to wrap it like that. Otherwise, you will not go far with it.
So you conducted session for teaching them?
Yeah, we do teacher training. That is very important. We share these kind of concepts with them.
How often do you do?
Typically, 2 times in a year is good, like once in the beginning of the year and then we follow at the end of the year. Then we'll have a lot of interactions during the course of the year. Whenever I meet a teacher or my staff meets a teacher, we try to have this kind of an interaction. So you cannot just give the medicine once and forget about it. Because this is a behavioral change. Like an attitude shift has to happen. And we have many of those teachers who have now come on our kind of thinking now, and we don't have to worry about those schools. So there is a school that called Hulibele in Kanakpura. That school for 5 years in a row, that's got a school of excellence award. Now that's the same. It's in a village, like a same government school. Teachers have come in and out, transfers has happened. But all along the school has maintained that, because that they have ensured that it sustains. And we got Dr. Kalam to give an award to the children on that school. So it's that is what So once they get it, we don't have to worry about them anymore. So, but it's a long try to do. It's not always possible. Like for in sports, I try to collaborate with other NGOs. And in health, I can't get in because we are in a school and try to work with a group of doctors, and we got into some logistical issues because health department and education department are two different things, and there's some. We like to work with other NGOs, but as long as they work with the same concept. Like I cannot work with an NGO in this sector who comes in and says, teachers don't know anything. I am here to teach them how to teach children. So because we tell the opposite. So no matter how good that program is, I cannot work with that kind of a program. And then a program that comes and tells all the parents are to blame for the bad results we are getting in rural schools. So we will work school in isolation. I can't work with that. Whatever good or bad, that's the environment. You have to work in that environment with the system. And if they come and tell me that, for example, start blaming the government at every step of the way. Okay, that is a challenge every day that we face. But you can't just, when you say you are working in the system, you have to work with the system within the constraints. And still able to show an improvement. So if I get NGOs like that, we'll definitely come to work with that.